Here's an example on combinations and the fundamental counting principle. We're going to combine those two skills to figure out this problem. It says, how many ways are there to purchase 2 PlayStation 3 games, 3 Xbox games, and 1 Wii game if there are 7 PlayStation 3 games, 5 Xbox games, and 3 Wii games to choose from? Okay, so we have to break this problem up into separate pieces. The first thing I think about is I have 3 choices that I can make. So here's what I'm going to do. I can make choice 1, choice 2, and choice 3. So I have 3 choices to make. Okay, and this first choice has a certain amount of ways in which it can happen, right? Or a certain amount in which this can happen. This second event here, which is choosing my Xbox games, can happen in a different number of ways, and this one can happen in a different number of ways. Okay, now these 3 different ways in which these 3 events can happen, this is basically the fundamental counting theorem, which says that if you have the amount of events, whichever amount of events that you have, and one event can happen in a number of ways, and the other one can happen in a number of ways, and another one can happen in a number of ways, then the total amount of ways that the events can happen we find by multiplying the events together. That's the fundamental counting principle. So for this problem, I have 3 options I can choose: PlayStation 3 games, Xbox games, and Wii games. And they're asking you how many ways can I choose having these options. So let's take these separately. Let's just look at the PlayStation 3 games. So I can choose 2 PlayStation 3 games, and there are a total of 7 PlayStation 3 games. So I can choose 2 games out of 7 that are available. Now, how do I calculate the different ways in which that can happen? So if I'm choosing 2 PlayStation games from an available 7 games, this sounds to me like a combination, and it is. I would write 7C2. I'm choosing 2 games out of 7. Okay, so that's the amount of ways that this first event can happen. Now let's look at my Xbox games. I can choose 3 Xbox games out of 5 Xbox games that are available. So this also sounds like a combination, and it is. So this would be 5C3. And as my last option here, is my Wii games. I can choose 1 Wii game out of 3 Wii games that are available, and this will be 3C1. Okay, and I multiply these out. So I would have to first calculate this and that, and then multiply them together. And again, your calculator has a key where you can calculate this very quickly. If you do not have that kind of a calculator, then you're going to have to do this by hand, okay? And you already know how to calculate this. We've done it in other examples. So I'm going to leave it here, and I hope you understood this example. And the next video, we're going to use this logic to find probability of events. So we're going to combine this skill with probability. I'll see you in the next video.